Build or not to build? That is the question that we are discussing tonight. I'm joined by Neil Sinden from the Campaign to Protect Rural England and also Alex Morton, Head of Housing and Planning at the Policy Exchange. It's great to see you both tonight. Alex, let's start with you. Do you agree with this quote that Michael Gove said, that anti-development campaigners are people who do not believe in social mobility, aspiration, they're not pro-family or freedom? Is that right?
Well, he was saying that people who think we should build absolutely no more homes anywhere are against those things, and I think that's right. The problem in this country is that we've built very unattractive housing for such a long period that we've forgotten that we can build beautiful spaces, and what we need to do is change the system so that we build the attractive homes that we used to build in the past. And that would get a lot of people who are currently worried about development, who look at the sort of identikit soulless estates that we build and say, no thanks, on the side of saying, well, actually, if people built beautiful housing near us and there was a big country park attached to it, that's not a bad thing and that could improve my quality of life.
Still, that quote, though, does that describe you, Neil Sinden?
Well, we certainly agree with Alex that we need to see more beautiful buildings. You know, we have a very poor quality of housing stock.
Are you anti-social mobility? Do you not believe in aspiration?
Well, I think we will question the premise. We disagree entirely with Michael Gove when he simplifies the issue to one of people opposing development which is going to allow people to acquire a home. There is a desperate need for new housing in this country. There is no doubt that some greenfields will need to be used to accommodate our housing needs, but we need to make sure that we're minimising the loss of greenfield sites and we're actually making best use of our limited land resource. We have lots of brownfield or previously developed land in this country, and we need to focus development and investment into those areas first.
Alex Morton, he talks of beautiful buildings such as Chatsworth House or Salisbury Cathedral. I mean, yeah, they are beautiful, aren't they? But he's not really comparing like with like because they look nothing like a low-cost housing development. That's not very fair, is it?
Well, the interesting point is because we haven't built housing for so long, the land costs so much that you can't even afford to build beautiful houses. And then we have huge amounts of bureaucratic regulation that say, for example, you can't build detached houses in lots of areas because they're seen as too low density.
But no housing, so doesn't matter how nice it is, it's going to look like Chatsworth House.
No, but if you think about the big break in this country is after 1947, we had a different system before then. Most people want to live in a house built before 1947. And we created the planning system as it currently stands in 1947. So what he's really saying is we need to get back to the system before 1947 where we built beautiful houses, Victorian houses, Georgian houses, thatched cottages, and move away from what we built after 1947 where the government basically controlled what houses look like, where they go. And that's the system that we have at the moment, and that's the system that creates so many NIMBYs, because people say, they look at it and go, no thanks, I'm against it. And the problem for that is that you get young families where kids don't have gardens, living in cramped, unsuitable accommodation, and that is a real social problem.
But the other problem is Sally Little, someone who's tweeted us, one of our viewers tonight, she says, I'm 17 and I'm already worried about whether or not my children will be able to admire the countryside. So my answer is no, it's sacred. I mean, there is a view, isn't there, in this country? People want the countryside protected.
The countryside is of huge value to the nation. Many people value it. Not just people that live in the countryside, but people that live in towns and cities value the countryside. I have to say, I think what Alex has just said about a pre-47 system and going back to before planning is absolute nonsense. We need the planning system more now than ever before. We need to ensure that we're making use of our scarce land very wisely. We need to invest in regenerating previously developed land, and we need, I agree, to improve the quality of new buildings. And actually we have got lots of high-quality new buildings that we need to learn from. We need to replicate those across the country and ensure that we're enhancing the quality of our local environment rather than destroying it.
The big thing about this is the vast majority of people think over a quarter or a third of England is built on. The actual figure is about 8 to 9%.
OK, we'll leave it there. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time tonight.